All right, so are you guys ready to go down the rabbit hole a little bit more with me? Someone left this comment on the video I made about plasma and how we are starting to observe this plasma and wondering if it has sentience to it or if it's pre-life, as if certain elements can come together to start to create RNA. This comment, however, really got my attention and it sent me down the rabbit hole. So just for reference, this is the study I was talking about. This was actually pulled off of ResearchGate, but it was published in the Physics Journal. That's what this is. These plasma balls were spotted over Egypt and a couple other places in space, and there's several very interesting things in this article. The idea being, the question is, are these plasma balls that we're seeing sentient, right? So here's something in the study. It says right in here, they've been filmed accelerating, slowing down, stopping, congregating, engaging in hunter-predatory behavior, and intersecting plasmas, leaving a plasma dust trail in their wake. Similar lifelike behaviors have been demonstrated by plasmas created experimentally. Plasmas may have been photographed in the 1940s by World War II pilots identified as Foo Fighters. Now, there's a lot in this article. I encourage you to go look it up yourself. But the comment about the 4D, 3D shadow thing brought me back to David Grush's testimony during the UAP hearing last year. This is the transcript from that hearing. It's a lot. You can pause it to read it, or you can Google it yourself. But something I want to pull your attention to, right here, he was asked, and with that being said, you have mentioned that there is interdimensional potential. Could you expand on that? Mr. Grush, to answer your first question, and you know, I am here as a fact witness and not as an expert, but I will give you a theoretical framework at least to work off of as spouse crashes. Regardless of, you know, your level of sentience, right? You know, planes crash, cars crash, and a number of sorts, you know, all this stuff. Anyway, then you get down here and it says, and then in terms of multidimensionality, that kind of thing, the framework that I am familiar with, for example, is something called the holographic principle. It derives itself from general relativity and quantum mechanics, and that is, if you want to imagine a 3D object such as yourself casting a shadow onto a 2D surface, that is a holographic principle. So it can be projected, quasi-projected from higher dimensional space to lower dimensions. So they were really trying to get him to comment about non-human biologics that might be procured during these crash retrievals, right? All of that's in there. So then I went to AI and I said, hey, AI, can you explain the 2D, 3D, 4D shadow thing? And this is what it says. You can pause to read this, but basically it says we cast a two-dimensional shadow because we are 3 dimensions. So if a 4 dimensions, just because we can't fully imagine living in 4 dimensions, we can still think about the basic idea. This being would have an extra dimension beyond our usual 3. When a light shines on this 4D being, it would cast a 3-dimensional shadow because just like before, the shadow loses 1 dimension. So I really started going down the rabbit hole. What if these balls of plasma that we are seeing are actually the shadow of 4-dimensional beings? What if we just don't know enough about it to understand it yet? Everything is science fiction until it's not. Just remember that. And to the person in my last video on plasma who said that it can't possibly be true because we haven't captured this plasma and studied it in captivity, that may be true. However, I would say there are plenty of animals on this planet that we have not studied in captivity but still know a significant amount about. So I'm just saying, maybe be open-minded. I'm actually going to try to tag Dana Kipple and Fox from Be Fucking For Real News because both of them have talked about these principles before, and those two know a lot more about this than I do. But I think it's really worth exploring this type of comment. What if the plasma balls we're seeing are shadows of 4-dimensional beings? Oh my God, I love this stuff. I love this stuff. What do you guys think? Seriously, what do you think?